this isn't about my makeup. Okay, so I have a problem. A problem that is fully taken over the corner of my bedroom that I don't normally draw attention to. I was gonna say I have 2 loves, but that would be a lie. I have many loves. Crochet, and sewing was a first love. Nail polish, so lipstick as my gateway. Into makeup. But I have always loved stationery. And Pinterest and Instagram and YouTube as of late picked right up on that and said, hey girl, you wanna watch people write their name? Salt. It's such a dumb, this is gonna be such a weird, dumb little video, but, so, ooh, no. So, like 12 years ago at this point, my sister's 7 years older than me, so when she was getting, like, young adult teenage gifts, I was still getting, like, baby gifts, and, I was always super jealous of the fact that my sister got like this journal set. It came with this, which is like just like blank pages, and a notebook that I ruined with writing fan fiction, literary fiction. I wasn't a fan fiction girl. I wasn't really an online person until I was in my like 20s. But I wrote like Wattpad fiction without the Wattpad. I just wrote stories. And so I've always had a love for handwritten notes, and also handwritten notes, and also pretty stationery. So this is a story about how I got this notebook very quickly. I was traveling with my mother and a associate of hers, and we were going to a wedding, and we go, to buy a card for the bride and groom, and we stop in at this really fancy, card store. I think it was Papyrus in this train station up in DC, and I came across this notebook. It's beautiful, but it's not particularly my aesthetic of beautiful, but it was beautiful to look at. And as you can see, it doesn't have any markers on it. All it had was a paper strip with the name and how many pages it had in it, and then just its scanner thing. So I take it up to the counter and I'm like, hey, to the guy, I'm like, hey, how much does this cost? And he gives me this look like, if you don't know, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. And so that was the first time as an adult I bought a $25 notebook. I bought this overpriced notebook purely out of spite because I am an Aquarius Aries. I am petty. I do not take shit lightly, and so I filled up most of it because I was like, I'm gonna get used out of this book. It's kind of tiny. I used it to keep track of my followers on my first Instagram account. the one where I did like follow trends since I had like 1,000 followers, but like was still only getting like 20 likes. I also used to like hand write in my my makeup collection. My makeup collection is now entirely, like, it was big before. It is entirely too large for all this. Like, I love looking at this because I have always had really neat handwriting, and I've always prided myself on that because my father and my sister both have really nice handwriting. My mother used to have nice handwriting, but God stripped that away from her. But that was the first time as an adult I was like, I really just like stationery. I really like pretty shit. So, I was feeling, well, first off, I switched back to like cheaper notebooks and just like finding my aesthetic, which, again, this doesn't go deep enough. I have this notebook, which is my diary, my adult woman diary, and I only write in this one when big things happen, but I won't be writing in this. This one I also keep. It's like an actual diary, and I actually take my time when I do stuff. So this has stuff from my trip to Virginia. It has the last time I did a big catalog of my makeup collection. And it has recipes in it where, like, if I make a recipe I really like, that's like just from scratch, I do it. Veggie chicken! I haven't used this one as much as I thought I had. But this is also where I track my Instagram for my current Instagram account. So I have this notebook that I got from a TJ Maxx, I believe. And I really love it because it's nice and sturdy, but it's also a lie flat journal. But I bought that one. But I thought it was too pretty to use because that is part of my issues. I'm too precious with everything. I love hoarding stickers, and so I bought a cheap one for like $6 at Walmart. This one's a Stink Happy, and I filled it with I filled it with two things. Let me turn that over. Stickers. Oh my, please don't. Stickers. You can see my Drenched Cosmetics sticker, and a sticker from my favorite online shop. This is a free gift I got from an alum and ink order. Super love that. But I also, it's filled with filter recipes for various apps, because at the time I didn't have two devices and I don't have a very good memory, so if I was working on something I wouldn't be able to see it in the... There we go, that feels better. That feels less icy. So I got a second one of those because that one was filling up, and I just kept it around for a while. This one opened my eyes. This is a dot journal. Oh, goodbye, friend. And I just I much prefer dot journals. They don't have any rule. You can just kind of do whatever you need to do in it. And if you're like me, that means writing down love triangles and, you know, things, because I write and review about dating TV shows. This is the journal that I was keeping notes in for both my Alphas book review and also oh my goodness, I gotta find it. Also my bachelorette for Katie's season. Oh my goodness. These notes. And also the whole first half is me talking about a Twilight knockoff book that I read as a teen that I will be revisiting. It's like my white whale. I have to conquer it, but I have to come at it correct. You can't just call something a Twilight knockoff without receipts. A little stopgap is I really like that journal, but I also want to try different ones. So this is my content journal. It's got succulents all over it, and it is where I journal about my whatchamacallits, my videos. I take like video related notes. If I'm doing something and I can't, you know, hold it with my brain for any amount of time, I kept a list of my bookmarked and unproduced tweets in here, and then went through them and tweeted some of them when I needed the space for my palettes that I was, you know, labeling. That's where I would write it. And this one, I don't know what my lighting situation needs to be so that y'all can see this, but yeah, so I have this notebook, and that kind of brings us to today. So I saw that other pink one was filling up, and I was like, I need a new notebook, so I got another shade of pink. And this one, so these are all from Amazon. This one like came with stencils for journaling. I did not know that until recently because I only opened it up pretty recently. But it's big and thick, and it is also dotted because I decided, oh, this does lay flat. I do like this one. But it's, you know, a nice lay flat dot journal. I haven't found a use for it, but she's unwrapped because I used the stuff that's inside of it. This is like my dot journal, and if you follow me on Instagram and I talk about journaling, you'll probably recognize this one because it's got my Sailor Moon stickers and all my anime flowers. And I really like bullet journaling. My diary is very inconsistent, but I like to write down my thoughts because I like to go back and be like, okay, this is what I was thinking when I did this, and this is like the goal I set for myself. So I essentially took that model and just made it really pretty. So like my goal this year was to like consume more media of things that I like. So the first half of the year, I rewatched and then watched for the first time all the Marvel movies. And obviously I didn't journal that, but my second half goal was to listen to more music, like more music that wasn't music I already heard or from artists I had already like was pretty familiar with, or I went back and listened to artists who's like I had listened to like the singles but never their full discography, and I did that, and it's empty here. I've like gotten like really out of shape because I'm a pretty active person. I walk around quite a bit just pacing, and paired with the pandemic making it unsafe for me to be outside, I'm also just like this video production and editing is not conducive to being like, oh, I'll just take it on the go, I'll just do it on the treadmill like it was with reading. I'm a big reader, I used to be at least, and so my health kind of went to the wayside. It's like you can drink an entire like 16-ounce thing of coffee when you're going on walks, and getting like mad buff. You can't really do that. And so I have to like start holding myself accountable. So I have like a marker for how much water I drink. My goal is to drink 64 ounces. I fail. I succeed a lot, but I also fail equally as much. And I have like my weight loss goals and like my measurements. But I also have, because it's, you know, it's me, I also have a list of like movies and stuff that I want. And TV shows. Because part of like my content origin story is I binge watched Grey's Anatomy for the first time, and so many things in pop culture made so much more sense. So I'm like, I love that feeling and I want to be involved in pop culture more. So I'm gonna go back and watch all the teenage girl boss shows that I wasn't allowed to watch as a teen. From really, I'm starting it at 2020. I'm gonna move backwards. And I'm really excited. I'm so excited to watch Pretty Little Liars and Glee. That's all gonna be happening on my media channel, which I will link in the description. And this is the last notebook, and she's less pretty because she's super duper functional. Like, I kind of want to cover her in stickers, but I'm also burning through this notebook so fast that I don't want to attach anything that I actually like to it. So this is just like a white one. I already actually bought a second one. They didn't have any more. I think if they don't have any more of this one when I run out of my second notebook, I will probably move back to this because I really like it. But this is my content journal. Oh no! 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 I got lipstick all over it! My pure white notebook has been sullied by my nude lip. Oh my gosh. So this is my content journal. It has a video that I'm working on's notes. It has the entirety of Bachelor in Paradise. And we're also moving back to, we're working on my Alpha series. And this is super functional, but it's big and wide, and I can bend it back and not have to worry about like, oh, I've ruined the spine. I hate wrinkled spines on notebooks. Makes me so sad. Okay. So, next chapter we're going to talk about tools. If I have one love greater than just like pure paper stationery, it's pens. I love pens, and I'm a snob for pens. If you follow me on Instagram, I swatch my pens not all the time. I swatch my pens quite a bit. But I love pens. So, I have several pen cases. Pen cases, markers. I'm very specific. I love them. Okay, so I own so many pens. But like, I'm fully of the idea that the GQ, the G Pilot 1 or G Pilot 2 pen is the superior pen, but those are expensive, and I associate them with my father. They would come in fun colors. So my second favorite pen is the Inkjoy, the Papermate Inkjoy pens. I prefer it in the the click top because I'm a click top girl, ADHD, but I really like these, and I bought a set of them for school so that I can take notes with them, and I have the full set. What I also have in here is my Paper Age, because I didn't say what brand those notebooks were. I will have them on screen though, and maybe, just maybe, I will have them linked in the description. I will try my best, no promises. So Paper Age is the brand of my notebook that like is my actual bullet journal, and it had a set of like 15 or 20 pens for $10, and they're gel pens, and they come in all these fun colors, and they're not terrible. The ink itself is fine. The pen body themselves feel really cheap, so they're not fun to write with, but they're really good for writing and not feeling bad. I do own 4 pencils. I like left high school and stopped writing in pencil, like at all. Like my dad's like doing taxes, like, Megan, do you have pencils? No, I don't. Because even my senior year of high school, I was writing everything in black pen because I don't like pencil particularly. I like, especially with math, because that was the class where it was an issue. My math teacher my senior year of high school was super chill, and it was just like, hell, as long as the work is turned in. But I like being able to see where I did something wrong, because I tend to make the same mistake over and over again. And so if I could see where I did wrong, I could go back and be like, make a different mistake to learn from and work backwards from, which I ended up doing, and was not terrible in that math class that year. I just don't particularly care for writing in pencil. I subscribe to, like, if I'm writing an essay, I write my first draft in a blue, I go through, make corrections in red, and then final draft is in black. Like, I'm very particular. So that's this one. I got this pencil case for school this year specifically because I did not want to mix my school pens with my personal use pens. Now we're gonna move on to my personal use pens. I just got this pencil case like late September, and I really like it because it's got all these pockets, yes, sure, oof, but it's also got all this space, and they come out. They're like velcroed in there. So this one doesn't. Okay, cool, good to know. So first, this has like my succulent stickers in it. My Redbubble stickers I keep in their Redbubble envelope, and they're over there because they're a little too tall to keep in here, but like and when I get stickers, they get put directly in there to protect them because I love stickers. I have been a full-size calendar girl since 2018. I think 2017 is actually my first calendar, and it was leather, like all my journals are, and it was baby blue. It was gorgeous, and I didn't want to just write in anything in there, so I would go to Michael's and I would buy, every time I would go there, I would buy a couple, maybe like 1 or 2 Steplo pens, and I love them. And then when I started seeing people on Instagram talking about them, and they talked about the Steplo highlighters, I really love those. But I have Steplos in my front area because these are my fancy pens, and at this point I do want to use them, but before I was like, I want to use these because I don't want them to, you know, dry up. I have these Steplo brush tips. These are the pencil ones, and then these are the brush tips. I have a different Papermate Inkjoy. This is a ballpoint pen. Before they make the Inkjoy Gel Pens, these were the only like fun colored pens that I could like get for a reasonable price. And ew, a bug. I wasn't expecting that. I never opened this. But this is just like this is like C tier pen for me. but I would burn through these. I went through a ballpoint pen where I only wanted to use the Inkjoy Pilot pen. I wanted to use the Papermate Pilot pens. That's the only pen I would use. That was very annoying. I have a jelly roll. I have a jelly roll because for some reason I think I'm gonna ever do jelly like white details on my bubble letters, and I never do. And then I have a different. I love Papermate. Papermate, sponsor me. Let me be your little pen girl. Maybe your little dirty pen girl. I don't know. This is just like a basic, you know, the Papermate equivalent of a big pen. I love having it just like a basic pen on me for writing. I have a Sharpie highlighter. I used to have my senior year of high school, which was 5 years ago, which is wild to me. But I had the clear tip ones for reasons. I took a lot of AP literature classes, and I don't know a lot of note taking, performative note taking. Like I wasn't a fan of active reading and book notation until now. Like the idea of having that's like a very adult college thing. Like asking a high school student who already doesn't want to read the book to write about the book. They're gonna write the most asinine things about the book, and they're gonna highlight whatever they think they need to get the course done. Now, as an adult, I'm fully like, this is stupid, this is dumb, this character's dumb, and I write in the margins, or not the margins, I write it in my notebooks, and I tweet about them on Twitter, or post about on my Instagram stories, which you can follow me at Megan_Blush_. I'd also, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to me, yeah. These two pens, I have Tombow Furjuku pens. I'm so sorry about the pronunciation, but I have a 2-pack, and they are absolutely the wildest pen I've ever worked with. I got them for calligraphy and fake lettering, and I love them. They're really hard to kind of work with, and they make my normal handwriting look like absolute ass. But I'm also obsessed with how black it is, and how when I outline letters with it, how beautiful it looks. I have a full set of nails on. I can't get. Let me just rebirth that baby. Okay, so when I bought the first pink note. I have too many pink notebooks. I have 4 pink notebooks just right now. When I bought the Ishimoshi journal, and I was still working in my content journal, I was like, oh, I want a set of fine liners that I can just shoot the shit with, and I don't have to worry about how expensive these are. So I bought these for $9, and they feel like $9, but they work. Their black is really good. They've got a nice shade range of colors. I haven't had any of them skip. So this is actually my newest acquisition. They're Sharpie creative markers. They're highlighters. They've got highlighter tips on them, but they're markers, and that's why I love those things. I can just pull them out, and they're stacked in there. But I wanted a soft wash of color. I'll explain how we got here. We essentially worked back from Eve, but I wanted a soft wash of colors, and I wanted a wider range of them. And using my Stablos would have been too expensive to buy a whole bunch of Stablos for that. So, whoop. Let's work backwards. So, I bought these. These are Copic bootlegs. These are Cali art brush markers. They're alcohol-based markers. I think they might be terrible, but I'm not sure if it's me or my equipment, or if like I'm not using the right paper. But they're alcohol inks, and I got them for 30 bucks, and I love them. But I can't use them on my journal because they run and they feel terrible. They feel like they skip and they run like the brush materials. Not good. I'm not sure if I'm just using wrong paper or not. I possibly could be. But I have them now because I wanted to do hand lettering with them, and I can't. So I bought those. But they're really cool. I do like them, and I think at some point I will get into alcohol inks and working with them, and I'll have them, and they'll be really cool. I have to share these because before we get deeper into the story, these are Mitsubishi, like the car, M-Lot Everfine, and they're like my Tombows, but they're in color. They have the weirdest little tip. They're like, oh no! Clear on the tip, and they just barely have pigment on them, and then they're just like, they're like fine liners. I think they probably are technically a fine liner, but they are just wild to work with. I love them. I got them early this year, and they're super cool. I posted them on my story, and Mitsubishi Uniball liked it, but I never use them because they're kind of subdued, and I like bright colors on my pages. But these are like so cool to me. Okay, so when I was looking on Instagram, I was looking for Tombow. I was looking for Tombow brush pens, and you know, she recommended the fish one, and I type it into Amazon 3 o'clock in the morning because I suffer from ADHD induced insomnia. So 2 bad things happening. Honestly, that's why I take sleeping aids, is because if I'm asleep, I can't be awake to make bad decisions. So I go on Amazon, and I'm not reading. And I normally read so well, but I'm not reading. And so I'm like looking for Tombow dual tip brush markers. And I ended up with dual tip brush markers, but I essentially ended up with like crazy art, rose art markers. And it's a 100 pack. I haven't swatched all of these because I don't feel like wasting an entire 3-hour block of my life trying to swatch them. But I got these for like $25. They're okay. I hate the fine liner tip. The fine liner tip feels horrible. The brush tip is fine, and this is gonna be great for coloring, which I do. My mother and I, we have like those like first wave of adult coloring books from like 2013, 2015. My mom and I have those, and we do a lot of coloring. But yeah, I got these. So finally, I made a special order of both these, which is the full set of Stablos. I believe this is 30. This is the 30 pack, and they're the 88 point, the 0.4 millimeter plus neons. And again, I love Stablos, so I was really excited to have these. But I also ordered the actual Tombow dual end brush, dual brush tip markers. And these are really soft pastel colors. I kind of wish I had gone with the like more saturated version, but I didn't, and I'll have to forgive myself for that. But now I own these, and they're really nice washes of color for when you're trying to decide what you want to do. I'm really glad about these Sharpies, because the Sharpies are essentially doing what this was supposed to do. Do not find, like, I'm better with the watercolor brush tip markers, but I really like those. Like, I really super like them. Like, I went to Hobby Lobby to go buy some. They didn't have them at, not Hobby Lobby, at Michael's. They didn't have them at Michael's. Honorable mention, as far as like books and stuff that I own outside of my journals. I have this thing full of marker paper, and it came with a guard for me to like, it came with a guard so that you can put it up under the page and not have it bleed through, and that is a godsend. And I wish I had it in the shape of my like actual journal, because it is amazing. And you just put it up underneath there and you're like, boom, I know that like the next page is gonna be makey for me and I don't have to worry about it, and I love that. It's so cool for me. Yeah, so I have a slight problem and I need to justify it by saying I'm gonna make content out of it. So expect to see little journal updates from me every once in a while whenever I get them edited, because I love my little journal. I love journaling, I love stationery, it's super fun for me, and I just want to share it. You know, there's can always be more black people, black women, in certain gentile soft activities, and paper crafts with journaling and that kind of stuff needs more niggers, needs more of them, needs more of us. Cool. Alright, if you're like, Megan, I want to see what you're talking about on your Instagram story, or you complaining about books on Twitter, you could, I don't do it on TikTok yet, but maybe I will. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Megan_Blush. You can check out my inspo page for journals and, you know, letter handwriting stuff at Pinterest at @2Megan4Blush, or Megan_Blush_. I believe you can search me on both of those things and find me. You can check out my my media channel, Planet Blush. I guess I'll throw it up on the screen. I'll throw a little booble up there for me. And generally where my face is, you can find, you know, yeah. You can subscribe here or down below, where you can leave a comment telling me what your favorite writing utensil is. You can check out my, you know, whatever YouTube thinks is the best video for you here, and my 2021 playlist. Yes, God. That's it. Bye, guys.